Listen to the palm mutes. My name is Kristian Kohle, and today I want to dial in a truly disgusting guitar tone. Here we go. This sounds filthy. This sounds rotten. It sounds like a fucking broken bulldozer, you know, grinding bones in slow motion. Kind of drone-like, but it's tight enough as well. And I can even make it tighter. But those palm mutes, aren't they beautiful? They sound like spitting particles of blood. I'm on a mission again. Once again, I'm trying to make this world of metal guitar tones a little more filthy. We want more filth, right? So, I just dialed in this guitar tone and felt like I have to share this with you, very spontaneously. And the reason is I'm about to mix a grindcore album. You know, grindcore, that is like the ugly sister of death metal, the punk rock version of death metal. And grindcore is supposed to sound dirty. So you can't just use your favorite Neural DSP plugin, or you can't just use a 5150 into a Mesa cab or something like that. It might work, but it's kind of boring. So we're looking for something more dirty. This one is cool because it's really fuzzy and fat, and I just dialed it in and I felt like this could be fucking awesome. I don't know if I will use it, but I will show you the signal path. I will show you how I dialed in that tone because the setup is quite complex. So let me show you the setup. Here you can see all the pedals. I'm splitting the signal. So we have two parallel distortion chains that I'm mixing together in the power amp again. Let's start with the more simple side. First of all, I'm using this guitar today, this lovely Yamaha guitar with passive pickups, Seymour Duncan pickups, because I felt like I don't need the ultimate tightness for this kind of tone. It sounds a lot tighter with EMGs, and normally I prefer that, but today, you know, I'm really dirty and I want a lot of loose low end for this kind of tone. I'm splitting the signal with this lovely Lele P-split box, which is really handy. If you ever thought about splitting your signals, get it. Link below. Because, you know, there's a ground lift that works, and there's a phase switch that works, and it just sounds great. So I'm splitting the signal with that. And one side of the signal is going into this lovely REVV G4 pedal, which is actually a preamp. The cool thing about it is that you can play it straight into a power amp and it sounds great. Most distortion pedals really want to see or prefer to see a preamp because it brightens up the tone and gives it a little more grind, you know. But this one sounds great into a power amp too. I'm going from the REVV directly into the power amp of my BRUNETTI XL. And it sounds like this. Again, not the tightest sound. I've cranked the highs. And I'm using the inbuilt boost or something. Without the boost, it sounds like this. The red boost. Pretty fat and dark sounding distortion tone. Sounds nice, but maybe a little boring. So here comes the interesting side of this guitar tone. Again, I'm splitting it. One side goes into the REVV, into the power amp. The other side goes into my big MUFF. My favorite fuzz pedal, by the way. Really cool. You remember I already did a video where I mixed distortion and fuzz with different pedals. I'll put something up here so you can watch it. But most of the time I'm using the big MUFF because it sounds big. And it's a big pedal. I like it. Anyway, the big MUFF is going into the clean channel of the BRUNETTI. So that is different. Let me turn off the REVV and let me turn on the clean channel. And just to show you that I'm really on the clean channel, it sounds like this. So this is totally clean. Let's turn on the big MUFF. And this is where things get dirty. I don't want things to be too bright. Let me look at the EQ. I haven't touched the bass of the Brunetti, but I've cranked the mids. You know, which just brings the guitar, the main tone more forward, more in your face. And I've dialed back the treble a little bit. Okay, next thing I'm doing is I'm mixing both those signals. So now we're listening to the big muff into the Brunetti clean channel. And now I'm bringing in the REVV as well. By the way, in case you don't understand, I'm doing this because I have a parallel effect loop on my Brunetti. So, and it's at 50-50, you know, so 50-50 coming from the preamp and 50-50 coming from the REVV, which is connected to the return of that effect loop. So, this is the big muff. Let me bring in the REVV so things get a little more modern and tighter. And now I'm able to blend those two tones. So I can just use a touch of fuzz or more of it. You can use the mix knob on your parallel effect loop to decide how much of the distortion and how much of the fuzz signal you want. Amazing, right? So I'm just using 50-50 here. I can also use the output of the REVV to define how much I want. But then I thought this isn't dirty enough. And I remembered what's his name again? Linde, the guitar player of Him. Great band, by the way. And he used to have, or he has a great guitar tone, especially on the first album. Great guitar tone. I was touring with Him, like I was playing support for 2 weeks on one of their first tours 20 years ago. And he had this setup where he was blending in a fuzz that is 1 or 2 octaves lower. So I thought like, hey, I should do the same thing. Maybe that makes things even more fucked up. And I was right about this. So I'm using the octave multiplexer by Electro Harmonix right before the big muff. And this really makes things sound over the top insane, totally fucked up. Because the tracking is so bad, when I play higher notes, you can really hear it acts like an octaver. On the lower notes, the tracking is so bad, it's just adding some kind of mud. But in a good way, you know? The good mud. So let's see, let me turn it on. And that gives the tone that swampy, filthy. But here, on the higher notes, you can hear it's an octaver. It just adds another dimension of dirt. I love this. I would love to make a Kemper profile of that tone. The only problem is the Kemper can't really capture like parallel setups with multiple distortion units. I mean, you can try, but it never really works. So yeah, I have to stick with this complicated setup. Maximum low end, maximum octave. This is fun, isn't it? And now you can hear the octave, cool. But you might say, yeah, it's cool if you play those single note riffs, you know, and if you play simple stuff, and it's not cool for more technical stuff, which is correct. But then I found another pedal which actually tightens up the whole thing quite a bit. And this is the MUDKILLER, you can see here, from Electric Eye Audio, from my friend Silas in Brazil. This is a great pedal. It it has the same function like a tube screamer or like an EQ that will cut the bass right before you hit the distortion. It's making things tighter and more aggressive. And it's a great pedal for that because you have quite a lot of control. So I'm not using, there's an inbuilt pre-gain, but you can turn off the gain, the additional overdrive or distortion that's turned off here. And I'm just using the filter to make things tighter. And it's a huge difference. So let's have a listen to the tone we have, both parallel signals. And then I'm turning on the MUDKILLER. Makes it way tighter. Now you can play pretty much any riff you want, right? And if I was in a live situation, I would just turn it on or off depending on how I want to sound. So if I play something faster and more technical, turn it on. And if I just want to sound like... I'll leave it off. What a cool setup. Oh, I forgot to say one thing. We are using a EMINENCE DV77 loudspeaker. And it's actually the same microphone combination like last week, in last week's video. So it's 157 and one biodynamic ribbon, M160, I think. Great combination, by the way. And they're pretty good in phase, so it's a full and not too bright sounding setup. Because for a tone like this, whenever I do fuzz, I don't want things sounding too bright. And next time, I promise I will also tune my guitar. I just put on some new strings here because I haven't used it for a while. And even if it looks cool, you should absolutely cut off, you know, this is dangerous. Looks cool, but, you know, you could get hurt. Anyway, what an amazing setup. Maybe I'm going to use this next week on the next record that I'm mixing. I can't really talk about what it is, but you will hear it sooner or later because that will be a record, the grindcore record, where you can get the tracks later. Once my Academy, the Kohle Audio Cult, is coming, this will be one of the tracks that you can also mix. And in the meantime, I want you to experiment with the pedals you have. Get a Lele P-split thingy there, start splitting things, bring them together in a power amp, and see what you can find. Like one clean, one dirty side. That's pretty much the whole concept of the GRINDSTEIN pedal, you know? So this is just a little more convenient because you got it in one box. And this is not fuzz. It's like the HM2 thing mixed with a more normal distortion. And yeah, very convenient because it's just one box and you don't need any cables. But you can do something like this or something like this anytime at home, you know? If you have a few pedals, try some shit. You can also try it with plugins. In my experience, and I have tried to do the same thing with plugins, I was always getting phase issues. I don't know why exactly, because here you hear it. No phase issues at all. Just lovely, fucked up, broken bulldozer sounds. Yeah, so if you want to sound like spitting blood, you better try something like this. Thank you. I think that was all for today. Maybe I should release a pedal with everything here inbuilt. It's just a lot of work. Or a plugin. You let me know. What else do I have to say? Leave a comment, please. And please subscribe to this channel. That really helps me. And if you subscribe to my email list, that helps me and you even more. Because then I can send you some filthy emails too. And yeah, and if you join the email list, there's also a link to my Discord where you can meet some nice people and talk to them about filthy stuff. Yeah, I think that's all for now, right? There's a link below listing all the gear I'm using here. And oh yeah, 1 week, maybe the EMINENCE DV77 speaker is now available again in Europe. I haven't checked it. Check it out. You should get that speaker. EMINENCE DV77. I got it in 8 ohm Sounds great. If you can't get it, as usual, you want to buy my IR pack. Make me rich and famous. Buy my IR pack now. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on my socials. Do the usual shit, Get dirty. Turn on the bulldozer. I see you in hell, my friends. I see you in hell, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.